Elon Musk is on a self-discovered journey of exposing all that happened behind the scenes, and this time, he's looked at the bodies that have piled up in the wake of Sean Diddy Combs. From strange coincidences to sudden illnesses, here's a list of everyone who passed away to cover up Diddy's notorious crimes. Stay tuned till the end to learn some major shocking stories. Tupac Shakur's stepbrother, Moprem Shakur, is finally speaking out, and he's not entirely convinced by Sean Diddy Combs' denial of involvement in Tupac's murder years ago. During an appearance on Piers Morgan Uncensored, Moprem shared his doubts, saying he doesn't believe Diddy was 100% honest when he denied any part in the 1996 drive-by shooting. Days after a crime scene investigator revealed suspicions to Page 6 about Sean Combs' potential involvement in Tupac Shakur's murder, Tupac's stepbrother Moprem Shakur appeared on Piers Morgan's show. Moprem, a former member of the rap group Thug Life alongside his little brother, was questioned about the theory that the music mogul played a part in his brother's death. Piers Morgan mentioned that in 2008, Sean Combs had personally called Moprem Shakur to deny any involvement in Tupac's death. This followed a controversial LA Times article claiming Combs' associates were involved in the 1994 shooting that injured Tupac, which left him bleeding. However, the article was later retracted by the LA Times as they believed there were inaccuracies in their reporting. My opinion is that it wasn't a 100% honest statement, Moprem told Piers according to TMZ, reacting to Diddy's claim that neither he nor Notorious B.I.G had any knowledge of any attack on Tupac. He added, "So again, we got to find out what's true and what's false, what's real and what's fake." Tupac Shakur's stepbrother, Moprem Shakur, revealed in the interview that Sean Combs had personally reached out to him to deny involvement in Tupac's murder. Tupac was fatally shot in a drive-by after leaving a boxing match at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas in 1996. He was shot 5 times in his head. At the time, he was at the peak of his career. "He basically told me he had nothing to do with my brother's murder," Moprem Shakur alleged. "I told him, the truth hasn't fully come out yet, so we'll see." Now, nearly 30 years later, there's still doubt surrounding that statement, along with all the other suspicions people have. When asked whether he believes Bad Boy Records producer Sean Diddy Combs was outright lying about his involvement in Tupac's death, Moprem Shakur responded, "Quite possibly, and it's starting to look that way in my opinion." While Combs has never been arrested, indicted, or charged in connection with the allegations, Moprem feels it's time for the accusations to be revisited. This renewed interest in the case follows the recent arrest of gang leader Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who has been charged with Tupac's murder. Davis previously told Las Vegas police that Combs allegedly offered $1 million to have Tupac killed. Stay tuned for the story that blew up after the case. Kim Porter. A week after the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, New Jack swing singer Al B. Sure took to Instagram to detail what he claims is a vast conspiracy around the 2018 death of model-turned-actress Kim Porter, his former flame, and then, after their split, the on-off partner of the freshly incarcerated mogul, whose supposed knowledge of his alleged sex trafficking led to her death, the R&B singer suggests in his call for an investigation. On Monday, Al B. Sure, whose given name is Albert Joseph Brown, detailed what he says was the work of multiple individuals surrounding Porter at the time of her death from lobar pneumonia. In the 4 posts, which feature images of the former couple and pages from her memoir, Brown refers to Porter's 2018 death as a tragic murder. In a nutshell, Kimberly was allegedly taken from us because she was set on course to accomplish what Mrs. Cassie Ventura did by igniting the bonfire which brings us here today, Brown wrote. In his call for a probe by authorities, Brown suggests that everyone who was around Porter's home, particularly any publicists, should be questioned by law enforcement as he accuses them of a conspiracy to prevent Porter's memoir from being published. He alleges this involves swapping the pages of her book with others, so inflammatory details were never published. The book Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, was reportedly saved on a hard drive by Porter and spirited to LA record producer Chris Todd, who released it on Amazon.com on September 6. The Daily Mail reports that the book was published and edited by Todd using the pseudonym Jamal T. Millwood. "I was lucky enough to meet someone that purported to have Kim Porter's flash drive," Todd told DailyMail.com, adding that he knows the celebrity source of the drive well. Brown, for his part, claims he learned about what Porter intended to include in her memoir from frequent and intimate conversations in her selfless attempts to save my life. Brown also claims that he has been ignored by authorities for years while attempting to expose the alleged cover-up, and was even medically silenced as he worked to expose the truth. In 2023, he fell into a coma after being intubated while hospitalized for multiple illnesses. He received a liver transplant and survived the ordeal, which he described on Instagram as multiple system organ failure, septic, intubated on a ventilator for 38 days, and forced to visit death's doorstep. Porter was found dead in her home in Toluca Lake, California. After days of flu-like symptoms, the coroner initially listed Porter's cause of death as deferred, but later changed it to lobar pneumonia. Porter dated Combs sporadically through 2017. In addition to the 3 children she and Combs shared, Christian Combs and twins Delilah and Jesse Combs, Porter had a son, Quincy Brown, with Brown. In his 4 Instagram posts, Brown refers to allegedly stolen notes meant to go into Porter's memoir, and makes claims that her devices, including a computer, have disappeared, suggesting some sort of cover-up surrounding the book and her death. Brown's mentions of Ventura and a recently released public indictment document further suggest in a not subtle manner that Combs is involved in Porter's death, seemingly to silence certain details in her memoir. Miss Porter's missing devices, allegedly already in evidence, unquestionably contain the critical evidence that have been concealed. I'm convinced that evidence corroborates closely with details outlined in the recently released public indictment document. Additionally, it is pertinent to note that the individuals involved in this matter may also be connected to also concealing the alleged murders of several prominent artists, Brown wrote, adding cryptically that many were bewildered, but entertainment industry insiders should have a clearer understanding of the obvious. Erica Wolf, an attorney for Combs, wrote in response to an email seeking comment from The Hollywood Reporter that the book is a fabrication and disrespectful to Porter's legacy. The Kim Porter memoir is fake. It is also offensive, a shameless attempt to profit from tragedy. Chris Todd has no respect for Miss Porter or her family, who deserve better, Wolf wrote in the statement. Unlike the fabrications in his sickening memoir, it is an established fact that Miss Porter died of natural causes. May she rest in peace. Next is a death that still causes eyebrows to rise. B.I.G. Rolling Stone's damning expose about Sean Diddy Combs has revealed that the Notorious B.I.G. was supposedly planning to leave the music exec's Bad Boy Records just before his death. Several people who were interviewed for the piece corroborated the story, stating that Combs was in a battle against the late rapper's lawyers as he was attempting to regain his publishing rights. "I will never give it up until I'm dead and my bones are crushed into powder," the executive said, as per the book The Big Payback. Hip-hop photographer Monique Bunn said Biggie was absolutely about to leave Puff. "I know for a fact because he told me that," while another unnamed source added, "Everybody wanted to leave Puffy, everybody leaves him." When Biggie Smalls was shot and killed in March 1997, Combs reportedly took this situation and capitalized on the shock and sorrow. He denied the leave request of LaJoyce Brookshire, Arista and Bad Boy's former publicity director who was traveling with the rapper the day before his death. Instead of letting her process her grief, he tasked her with ensuring that Biggie's posthumous album Life After Death would go #1 upon its release. A few months after the killing, Bad Boy was approached by Rolling Stone for a cover opportunity, one that label co-founder and then president Kirk Burroughs suggested go to the late rapper. Combs is like, "No, he's dead. I'm putting out Combs' debut album, No Way Out, in July. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone," Burroughs shared, and it ultimately landed Diddy on the cover of an August 1997 issue. That unsavory move was looked down upon even by Death Row Records' Suge Knight, who is known for his violent temper and is currently in jail for a manslaughter sentence. "When Pac left, I didn't pick up a microphone," Knight said on his Collect Call podcast. "I picked up the pieces." This was soon followed by another untimely demise. Uncle Ron. Back in the late 90s, Sean P. Diddy Combs attended an after party with the notorious Biggie B.I.G, where the latter was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting. Years later, the hip-hop mogul's bodyguard Uncle Ron, whose real name is Ron Smith, opened up about the conspiracy behind Biggie's tragic demise, claiming that Jay-Z and P. Diddy were the co-conspirators behind the notorious Biggie B.I.G's demise. Uncle Ron took the internet by storm. But surprisingly, within 24 hours of making the tell-all video about the two infamous rappers, Diddy's bodyguard mysteriously passed away, making his claims all the more intriguing for netizens. Amid Sean P. Diddy Combs' charges, the rapper's former bodyguard Uncle Ron came clean on social media, making alleged ties between Beyonce, Jay-Z, and P. Diddy. Making a TikTok video, the former celebrity Bodyguard claimed that Jay-Z and Diddy wanted the Notorious B.I.G killed, openly attacking the infamous hip-hop mogul for conspiring with Jay-Z against Biggie. Uncle Ron's comments sparked suspicion surrounding the latter's demise. Considering how Biggie was attending an after-party with Diddy when he met his tragic end, the former Bodyguard's accusations seemed to connect the dots. Following these confessions, Uncle Ron also alleged that P. Diddy had apparently approached him in 1997 to carry out the death of Biggie. While none of his comments came with proper evidence, the former Bodyguard surely captured people's interest and sparked a wildfire of conversations online. Meanwhile, as Uncle Ron's accusations shook people to their core, what truly captured people's attention about the conspiracy between Jay-Z and P. Diddy was the former Bodyguard's mysterious death. Apparently, within 24 hours of making the tell-all video, Diddy's former bodyguard, whose real name is Ron Smith, was found dead. Uncle Ron passed away on September 14 at the age of 59, and the cause of his death is still unknown. However, rumors swirling online suggest that the former celebrity Bodyguard might have been murdered. A few claims also allege that perhaps Ron Smith died of pneumonia shortly after dropping some major accusations about Jay-Z and P. Diddy. What seemed all the more intriguing was people's suspicion about the type of pneumonia that killed Uncle Ron. Few people allege that perhaps the former Bodyguard caught the same ailment that Kim Porter had. Stay tuned for more conspiracies. Mack reportedly didn't die from congestive heart failure. According to Rolling Stone and Mack's death certificate, the cause of his death was related to HIV/AIDS and he refused to seek treatment. The outlet noted that it was Mack's family who honored his wishes and repeated his assertion that he had congestive heart failure. His first wife, Roxanne Hill Johnson, and brother Andrew claimed that Mack learned of his diagnosis before using the church as a shield to ward off the shadows of his past. Andrew expressed, "I believe he was very much in denial, but that's him living his truth to the end. I know that sounds really crazy, but you have to know him to understand that. As much as that bothers me, I understand why he did what he did. He lived his truth." Mack began telling people he'd been diagnosed with a congestive heart failure in late 2014. His health wavered and there were multiple moments Mack believed he was going to die. The outlet reported that Mack knew he was gravely ill and began documenting his story with music producer Alvin Toney. Yet by March 2018, Mack was bedridden and his family was unaware of the extent of the rapper's illness. Andrew said, "I've truly, honestly never seen a human being in that condition before. He was catatonic." The rapper wanted no medical intervention and his family respected his wishes. Per Rolling Stone, Mack's family is still putting together the pieces of his life. Considering his confusing death led to a host of questions, including when he learned of his diagnosis and whether he would have sought treatment if he wasn't connected to the church. His daughter Amanda believes, "I'll never know what the truth is," especially when it comes to Mack choosing to join the Overcomer ministry. So much is a mystery, but she does forgive him and believes his intentions were good for trying to find the Lord, but it's just a bad situation. Roxanne, however, blames Diddy for being the catalyst to Mack's downfall. She called him a trigger, adding, "He fucked my family up." Next is one you could not have imagined. Liam Payne. Following the tragic death of former One Direction member Liam Payne, a resurfaced video from 2017 has reignited suspicious death of a star who knew Diddy. Conspiracy theories linking his death to rapper Sean Diddy Combs. Payne, who passed away in Argentina after falling from the third floor of his hotel, had once spoken of an eerie encounter with Diddy. The resurfaced video has sparked a wave of speculation, especially given Diddy's jailing status involving federal charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Back in 2017, the What Makes You Beautiful singer appeared on the Graham Norton show and recounted an uncomfortable moment with Diddy at a party. "I went over to speak to him and Jay-Z, and as I shook his hand, he just chuckled. Diddy had the most evil laugh I've ever heard," he recalled. "So I'm a little bit fearful of that man." As the encounter left him unsettled, Payne then recounted that Diddy held his hand for an excessively long time, truly the longest handshake ever. Payne wondered, when is this going to end? As the prolonged handshake left him feeling uneasy, fans began speculating that Payne's sudden and mysterious death might be connected to the music mogul. Some users on social media, particularly on X, formerly known as Twitter, drew parallels between Payne's comments about Diddy and his untimely passing, suggesting Liam Payne talks about Diddy, everyone tries to stop him, and now he dies mysteriously. Connect the dots. There's no such thing as an accident in the music industry. Liam's fall was a warning to others, the user added in the thread. Too many stars die under suspicious circumstances. Liam's fall is just another in a long line of unexplained deaths. Oh, and added, "I'm suspicious of any death with people who knew Diddy." In a separate 2017 interview with KIIS-FM's Kyle, and Jackie O. Payne again spoke about his run-in with Diddy at a celebrity-packed event that also included Jay-Z and Leonardo DiCaprio. He described it as the most daunting celebrity experience, reiterating the strange handshake and Diddy's unsettling chuckle. He also admitted that he had approached Diddy, believing he would be the safest out of the trio, but in retrospect realized he had missed the mark. However, Buenos Aires Security Ministry Communications Director Pablo Politicchio said in a statement that Payne had jumped from the balcony of his room on the 3rd floor of Casa Sur Palermo Hotel. People still lament the death of this next star. Michael Jackson, Charlemagne. The God recently shared his thoughts on Michael Jackson during his appearance on the Brilliant Idiots podcast. On October 5, 2024, Jackson, who passed away in 2009, continues to be a subject of discussion for various reasons. In a conversation about Diddy's ongoing legal issues with Andrew Schultz, Charlemagne shifted the focus, saying, "There's only one person I believe in Hollywood who people conspired to actually take down. I'm talking about a mass conspiracy. I think that there's one person who they really took down because he had too much power, and I believe that person was Michael Jackson."
Yeah. But I think that there's one person who they really took down because he had too much power, and I believe that person was Michael Jackson.
Also known as Leonard Larry McKelvey, Charlemagne emphasized how a black man gains immense power when he controls a significant part of the music industry. He pointed to the time when Sony acquired Jackson's 50% stake in Sony ATV Music Publishing for $750 million in 2016. Charlemagne further elaborated, stating that the situation was part of a larger conspiracy theory, adding, "I believe Michael Jackson had too much power in the music industry, had too much control over the most valuable asset in music, which is people's publishing, and I believe they had to take him out because of that, smear his name, eventually get him up out of here." He reiterated his belief in the conspiracy surrounding Jackson's downfall, saying, "He's the one person I believe actually they ruined his reputation and ultimately killed him." Diddy, also known as Sean Love Combs, was arrested on September 16, 2024 on charges including sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for prostitution. This followed a grand jury indictment linked to raids at his home in March, along with footage that allegedly showed him assaulting Cassie Ventura. Since then, a new rumor has surfaced online. Continue for a truly heartbreaking story. Aaron Carter, Diddy's relationships with various celebrities, including Usher and Justin Bieber, are being scrutinized after the music mogul was charged with sex trafficking and other offenses. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. At the center of the allegations against Diddy are his notorious freak-off parties, which he allegedly arranged, coerced victims into participating in, and recorded. Following his arrest, a conspiracy theory gained traction on X, formerly Twitter, claiming that Carter may have been one of the alleged victims and had been planning to speak out on these drug-fueled sex parties before he died in 2022. The unverified rumor alleged that Carter was murdered before he could expose his alleged experiences at Diddy's gatherings. One tweet about the conspiracy theory has been viewed more than 26 million times and received over 100,000 likes. Rumors are circulating that Aaron Carter was killed right before he was about to expose what happened at P. Diddy's sex trafficking parties, where he was a childhood victim of drug abuse and rape. The tweet read, "Aaron Carter released albums under Sony Music Group Entertainment, which is a parent company of P. Diddy's Bad Boy Records. The singer was found dead in his bathtub at his home in Lancaster, California on November 5, 2022. He was 34. Carter's death was ruled by authorities as accidental, and the cause of death was determined to be drowning in the effects of difluoroethane and alprazolam. Police said they found no evidence of foul play. However, Carter's fiancée Melanie Martin and mom Jane Carter raised questions about the singer's death, with Jane suggesting that it may have been a potential homicide. While there is no proof that Diddy had any ties to Carter's death, some X-users said they believe it's possible that the late singer had been abused when he was a young pop star and had planned to speak out before he died. It was obvious to me Aaron Carter had been abused. This makes sense," one X-user wrote. "I remember he was definitely not a quiet one I can see him exposing," another pointed out. "Such a sad situation. His death never felt right," a third user commented. A different user tweeted, "If this is true, it's beyond disturbing. The layers of power, abuse, and cover-up in the industry are terrifying. Aaron's story deserves to be heard, and justice needs to be served. This is way bigger than just rumors. It's a potential bombshell. Expose them all." That's also so a fifth person commented, "Do you think all these deaths lead to a major conspiracy, or is this all just a terrible coincidence?" Let us know what you think in the comments down below.